are people out there who are so fixed on, you know, themselves and making themselves feel special and not compromising how they work in order to make others feel special. There are some people that are selfish out there, and you might be watching because you're on the receiving end of that. It's not that you're not communicating directly and clearly. It's just that you're dealing with someone who's not there for you 100% and not willing to do something outside of what they're used to in order to make you feel good.
I hope this video makes you feel loved. Make sure you stay till the end because I've got so many useful tips and I really get into the video as time goes along.
Welcome to the safe space. I get that you're here because you're not feeling loved. That is a really scary and upsetting place to be. So please know that I am kind of sending lots of love your way through this video, and that you know, I get you. I think a lot of us experience this feeling of not being appreciated by others. So just know that you're not alone with this at all, and that you're not weird for feeling like this. We can all kind of come together now and watch this video. There's more than one of you watching, so just know that you're not alone. There's a community of people who are watching this video who get you, and I encourage you to talk about this in the comment section too. But let's get on with the video. How to deal with not feeling loved. You might be feeling quite insecure, and one thing that you can do to help with that is to do some real deep diving into who you are, and that internal work, that self-discovery will help you realize why you act in certain ways and why you have certain insecurities. And I do think understanding lends itself to empathizing. How can you empathize with your sensitivity if you don't understand why you're sensitive in the first place? You might judge yourself because you don't realize that you've gone through all the stuff that's made you sensitive, that you know, grew up with quite nasty friends that were quite aggressive to you, who didn't communicate kindly to you. You might have been in quite a toxic environment that made you feel really unsafe. So naturally you've become quite a sensitive person, sensitive to any kind of negative energy. So I think having time to think about that and reflect on it and journal about, you know, your childhood and stuff is really important. When we feel loved by ourselves, we feel loved by others far easier because we can fully appreciate why others like us. It's so easy to question others' love for us when we don't feel love for ourselves. And achieving that self-love comes with understanding ourselves. That can kind of happen off the back of journaling and listening to self-improvement podcasts and reading. So I just encourage you to be open and curious about why you are the way you are, and be gentle and kind with it too. Another great thing you can do to kind of fully dive headfirst into self-discovery is by meditating. Just sitting still and listening to a beautiful piece of music and focusing on the breath and watching the thoughts go by. I know it's quite scary sitting with yourself, but it's so worthwhile, and something that makes it far easier to do is having that background music, that background company to kind of comfort you. Go and have a look. I'm going to link below Relax Music Lab. They post the most beautiful music that you can meditate to. It's so calm, there's no abrupt noises. I'd really recommend, if you want to start meditating and self-reflecting, listening to this music. Even if you're not meditating, you just want to, you know, start your day in a nice way and have some music in the background to make you feel less alone. I've linked them below. They are the sponsor of this video. So many people struggle with not feeling loved and appreciated by friends, family members, partners, and it's so painful. That's why I've created this whole YouTube space. It's why I film every week, because I'm so motivated to put more love out into the world. Yeah, I'm rambling on. My next tip, be aware of your inner dialogue. You're going to have so many thoughts going around in your head. You're going to have a lot of negative commentary, I'm sure, particularly if you're not feeling appreciated and loved. And that's the commentary that I want you to be super aware of. It's very easy to attach yourself to your thoughts and to think, well, that's true, that's fact, well, that's reality, well, that's me. The thoughts that come up in your head are just ideas that have come from here, there, and everywhere. That have come from the television show you've been watching, or the advert you saw on the bus, or from your parents. The thoughts that come up in your head are just, you know, consequences of all the opinions that have been thrown at you all the time. They are not truth. Thoughts are not truth. Repeat after me. My thoughts are not reality. They are not fact. So I just want you to practice awareness. I want you to be aware of the thoughts that you're having, not attached to them. They don't reflect who you are. They're not a part of your identity. You know, they're not literally you like your hair is. They come and go like clouds in the sky. That's what I want you to think of when you're getting a lot of negative thoughts. I want you to think these are just a load of grey clouds, the wind's going to come soon and blow them all away and the blue sky is going to come out. So if you're feeling underappreciated, you might have thoughts in your head like, no one wants to hang out with you. It's very easy to get swept away with that thought and to kind of prove it right by, thinking of scenarios where people have cancelled plans on you, and it's very easy to be your own worst enemy. It's a lot harder to be like, actually, I'm going to prove this thought wrong and I'm not going to listen to it, and I'm not going to just sit back and watch my mind go crazy and prove to me that I'm this awful person when actually, deep down, I know I'm not. Can I ask you that now really quickly? Do you think deep down that you're a rubbish person and that you're a horrible person and that you don't deserve love? Do you think that deep down? Think about the childhood version of you. Little delicate sweet you. Do you think they deserve all the stuff that happened to them that's made them who they are today? Because ultimately I do think we are still those children that are hurt by things that have happened. I don't think anyone deserves to not feel loved and appreciated and safe. So yeah, if one nasty thought crops up, like nobody wants to be around you, I want you to catch that thought, observe it from afar, like you do a dog in a park. Just watch over it. Oh yeah, look at that. Don't attach yourself to it, just observe it and then think, is this truth or can I prove this wrong? Nobody wants to hang out with me. Actually, no, I've met up with 2 people this week. We've agreed to see each other, so people clearly want to spend time with me. And to be honest, if I was in a position in which I could hang out with myself and be my own friend, I would want to be friends with me because I know I'm a really caring person and I put a lot into my friendships. So actually, no one wants to hang out with me. That's just not a fully true statement. And even if it is, I'm just not around the right people right now because I think I'm a really good friend and that I would really like to have a friend like myself. I want you to challenge those limiting thoughts that crop up. I want you to turn them into something complementary. It's very easy to run away with the negative thoughts and to get into this really negative cycle of self-judgment. And the more you kind of play into that critique and that negative voice, the louder it gets. So I just want you to quiet that voice down by genuinely just looking at the other side of the story. That actually, well, no, I don't deserve that. And I'm amazing because I'm so passionate and I'm an interesting person and I put my all into things and I'm trying my best. And every day I'm becoming a more healed, kind version of myself. So I'm doing all I can and that's amazing and that's more than, most. So I need to stop judging myself. And that thought can be put to bed right now. Even if there's an element of truth in a judgmental thought, I want you to think, I am not perfect like everybody around me. I've gone through things and that's why I'm feeling this way about myself. And maybe that's true, but that's a consequence of the trauma that I've experienced. And it's not my fault because I live in a world that is quite judgmental and damaging and can be quite toxic. So the toxic thoughts that I have in my head that I believe about myself are not my fault, and they're not something that I've believed since the day I was born. They are something that have, come up as I've kind of lived in this quite toxic world. Basically, I want you to just be kinder and more gentle with yourself, and I want you to not accept every thought that comes up in your head. I want you to challenge some of them, especially the ones that keep coming up that are repetitive. Obviously, thoughts can come and go quite quickly, so I don't want you to fight every thought that comes. I don't want you to turn this into a battle because then that can make things very uncomfortable for you. I just want you to be kind of softly questioning some of the negative thoughts that keep coming up. Please don't turn this into like a battle where you're trying to silence the negative thoughts and argue with them, because that will actually probably make them louder again. Just accept that they will come up. The more you bring your attention to your positive traits and all the stuff that you've experienced as you've grown up, having empathy for yourself, the more you channel your energy into those things, the more I think you'll learn to appreciate and love yourself. It's so easy to feel judged by others and instantly believe that you are not worthy because you've got all these negative thoughts coming up in your head that are telling you this already. I want you to be able to protect yourself when maybe someone does make you feel unappreciated and unloved. I want you to be like, well, I've gone through this, I'm healing this, and I'm working on this, and I'm putting all my energy into being a kind, good person, so I'm enough. I want you to have that really strong backbone and belief in yourself. So if others make you feel unappreciated, you can be like, well, I know in my heart of hearts that I really appreciate who I'm becoming. So you can believe what you want to believe and say what you want to say, but I'm this, not that. If you have a horrible self-judging thought right now in your head that you've been thinking about the last few weeks, I just want to ask you, would you judge your sibling or your best friend in the same way that you're judging yourself? Would you hold your sibling or your best friend to the same high standards that you hold yourself to? If your answer is no, then I want you to question yourself. Why aren't you holding yourself to the same expectations, to the same standard? What makes you so different? Because you're not, you're human. You're gonna make mistakes and you're not gonna be perfect ever. And you're gonna have those delicate spots, those sensitive spots, those insecurities. That's not a weakness, that is just reality. So stop holding yourself up to these ridiculously high standards and give yourself a break. Like you would to your friend and your sibling, you would comfort them and you'd point out the beautiful aspects that makes them them and that makes them attractive. And you would say, you know what? You do have, these insecurities and these things that you struggle with, but that makes you you and that makes me feel closer to you because I can relate and because I want to support you, which brings us closer together. I just want you to bring that kind of gentle, caring nature that you bring to your friends, to yourself and to your own self-perception. I want you to treat yourself like you are your best friend. Now, I really quickly want to say, you might be in a position in which you just do not feel strong enough to confront those negative thoughts and challenge them. You might feel so overwhelmed by that negative voice in your head, and it might be so loud and so fast speaking that you just can't catch a breath and that you can't take a minute to see yourself in this slightly nicer light. That's okay. Sometimes the inner critic is so loud and you can't calm them down. I think that's when I would encourage you to go and make yourself feel safe and distract yourself. Just let your body calm down. Because sometimes when our inner critic is really loud, our body is also freaking out and it's in fight or flight mode. So I want you to find a space that makes you feel safe. Maybe find a person that you can sit with that will make you feel safe. Obviously you're watching a video about not feeling loved, so maybe you don't have someone to go to, but that's okay. You can look after yourself and you can say, look, right now up here is a bit too crazy, so I'm just gonna take myself to my favorite park, gonna get my favorite drink, and I'm gonna self-soothe. My next tip is read books. If you're not feeling connected to other people, if other people are not making you feel special, if you're not feeling intimate with someone and you're really craving that, pick up a book. Dive into that fictional world and you'll quickly find that you are experiencing some kind of connection that you have been lacking in your real life. Books are really good at that because they're so detailed and they really explore different senses usually. So immerse yourself in this experience of feeling connected to someone, a certain character in the book. Make sure that you're really focused on the book and you're in an environment that can really keep you within that world and not take you out of it. Just go and sit in your room and light a candle. Reading about characters, understanding themselves and exploring why they are the way they are has helped me understand why I am the way I am. Obviously, I guess you can get that from television programs as well, but there's something about a book that helps you to really deeply think about these things and really feel everything. I feel like you can feel so much more connected to a character in a fiction book than you can a character on the television. Researchers at the University at Buffalo showed in an experiment that reading satisfies the need for human connection because it can mimic what we feel during real social interactions. Reading helps provide that sense of belonging that all humans need. Social connection is a strong human need. And before you say it, if you're someone that isn't that into reading, just try and pick up a quite easy peasy, exciting, fun fiction book and give it a go. I know you might tell yourself, you might have this narrative that you're someone that doesn't read. I'm not intelligent enough for that. I used to say the exact same thing. Give it a go. Please just put that judgment aside a second. Just say, I'm open to giving it a go because it could benefit me. And a book that I'd recommend for someone who's trying to get back into reading, I would actually recommend The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. What's your love language? Do you know? Have you researched it? If not, get online and do it. Do those online quizzes. There's so many of them. I actually did mine. All my friends know my top love language, which is quality time. My partner knows it as well. I don't think my family members know it too, but I really encourage you to communicate it with everyone who you want to feel loved from. So family members too. Everyone is so different, and I think it's so easy to assume that we're all the same because you've only lived your life in your body. You've only lived your experiences. So it's quite easy to just presume that hugging that guy is going to make him feel loved because it makes you feel loved. But it might not. That guy might have sensory overload and he might not like being touched. He might feel loved when you buy him a gift or when you do something for him. Sometimes to feel loved by others, we need to show them what makes us feel good. I'm just the biggest advocate of open communication. Love languages just help us communicate even more directly because they just help us figure out how we feel loved, and people can't guess that. I've got many friends that their top love language is gift giving. I am the opposite. Gift giving, it makes me excited, but it doesn't make me feel connected to someone. It doesn't make me feel loved. I like Christmas because it's exciting, but all those gifts that I get don't make me feel really close to someone. But for some of my friends, that's exactly what it does. That also brings me on to my next tip. Sometimes your way of showing love to someone won't translate in the way that you want it to. And maybe that's what's happening with you, and maybe you're watching this video because a particular person is not making you feel loved and it's really hurting you. But I just want to quickly say, maybe consider that they don't know how to love you and that you need to kind of give them a little bit more of a clear way, make it more obvious for them so they know how to make you feel treasured. Because I'm sure I hope that they want to make you feel treasured. But there are people out there who are so fixed on, themselves and making themselves feel special and not compromising how they work in order to make others feel special. There are some people that are selfish out there, and you might be watching because you're on the receiving end of that. It's not that you're not communicating directly and clearly. It's just that you're in a position in which you're dealing with someone who's not there for you 100% and not willing to do something outside of what they're used to in order to make you feel good. I was reading some more about this and I found this quote which I thought was really useful. Adjust your expectations, don't lower them. So don't expect that people are just gonna, make you feel loved straight away. Know that you kind of have to maybe help them a little bit and maybe show them and talk to them about what makes you feel special. So adjust that expectation that they're just gonna know after spending yay amount of time with you. But don't lower your expectations. Don't think, well, they're never going to make me feel loved. Hopefully people are willing to put the time and effort into making you feel loved. And if they don't put the time and effort into making you feel loved, then they do not deserve your time, your energy, and your tears. But I'm sure they'll get your tears because it's just painful, isn't it? Saying goodbye to certain people that don't make you feel appreciated might not be that easy. Maybe for you it might be a case of just decreasing the amount of time you spend with them. I really want you to protect yourself and your energy, and I want you to be able to walk away from people that don't put the effort into making you feel special once you've communicated how to do that with them. There are people out there that are really caring and that are really kind and that are willing to do whatever it takes to make you feel special, or just willing to, write a love letter to you every now and then. There are people out there who will make the effort, and it might be scary saying goodbye to people that don't because they're all you've got at the moment. But once you clear that space up, you leave plenty of room for the people that are gonna write the love letters, spend quality time with you, buy you those gifts. There are going to be people like that who are waiting to come into your world, but your world is too busy with people who don't care, maybe. That's me trying to give you that little push to stand up for yourself, protect yourself, and realise when it's time to say goodbye to people that are not giving you what you deserve and are not willing to try. There are people out there who are kind and who will make you feel special. And you are special. Say it with me now. I am special. My thoughts are not reality. Thoughts are not facts. They're not really my thoughts, they're just thoughts. I am special. I deserve love. I am imperfect. I'm going to have insecurities. I'm going to have those delicate spots, but that does not make me unlovable. That does not make me unworthy. That makes me human. That makes me like you, and you. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you for watching this video. I'm going to post again next week, so definitely hit the bell notification so you get notified when I post. Follow me on Instagram, Alessia Sotheberry, I'm posting on there a lot at the moment and I'm loving it. Yeah, I love you so much. Bye. Might have to make that fly go away, otherwise it's going to ruin my entire video. The fly has gone. I wonder, how would you define sensitivity? Because I do think it's actually not as simple as someone who hurts easy. Comment down below now actually if you can, and just tell me what you think sensitivity is. I actually think it's a really beautiful thing. I find that my sensitivity makes me really delicate with other people, the people around me, and really attentive to their feelings